So I'm going to say what I wrote in my private journal earlier today. The fact that today wasn't a good day. This time, not because of other people's disorganized things, but it's actually because of myself today. Today was the first day that we actually did a real, proper training session at the club. Every player there, all the coaches there, all good to go. Obviously, it was pouring rain, and like the ball would get stuck in the, as you're making a pass, it would get stuck. It would get stuck in the water clumps in the middle of the field. But it was the best training session that was kind of organized so far. And today's Thursday in my first week, and there's only 2 weeks of my trial. But I didn't play so well. I didn't play that good. I'm be honest. I made a few mistakes, and I made a few bad passes, and I was not at my best today. And I really do know that. And at the end of the training session, I was a little bit distraught because I was like mad at myself, mad at the circumstances, the situations, everything. But as the day kind of went on, the rest of the day, I went through some things during the day, and like I realized that it's still early, you know? Like, yes, tomorrow has to go well for like I have to play well tomorrow. Like if I don't play well tomorrow, I'm like it's really going to be hard for me to bounce back. Because if if a training session like today where everything was organized, all good to go and I just wasn't really ready, like mentally I was, getting angry at myself and was kind of thinking too much about previous plays instead of moving forward. If that had been something that was going on Monday, then I could be like, oh, okay, it's all good. I can bounce back. I can adjust. I can improve. But it's Thursday, and we're like, I'm only going to have, what, 5 real training sessions in my 2 weeks? So for me to prove to the club that I'm a good enough player, the level has to be way higher, like mentally and physically, and with the ball on my feet. And I know I can do better. I've seen myself do better. And in this moment in my life is the moment where I am the best version of the player and person that I am. But today I didn't show it at all on that field. And that's obviously a big problem. So what I've been doing instead of getting so mad about it, I was a little bit pissed at the end of the session, and then like it slowly, came into realizations that like really I have to just focus on myself, right? Whatever happens, the weather, the circumstances, the organization of everything, or sometimes lack thereof, that is not in my control. What I can control is when I get on that field, regardless of the circumstances, the effort I have, the mentality I have, the attitude I have. And today it wasn't there. Today what the attitude I'm supposed to have if I want to make it, it wasn't there. And I know. And I'd be the first to admit that I had my own flaws today, and they were really shown and brought to light in this past training session. So instead of focusing on all that other stuff, I have to focus on being better in that aspect. And what I've been kind of just thinking about is how my journey to glorifying God on this trial, what it was, and the fact that I haven't been doing it. Like I haven't been doing it at all. I've been I've been poor at that, right? I'd be getting on the field, I'd be angry, swearing, sometimes yelling at people, being prideful, right? Today I made a mistake. I made a bad pass. Was it really a bad pass? I'm not sure. I was trying to switch the ball, and it was a little bit lightly hit, but the guy got the ball, made another pass to the other center back, and then I think he played it back, and then he lost the ball. And then the goalie comes to me and says that like it's basically my fault. You should like your pass should be harder if you're going to switch the play like that. And then I kind of like was questioning him. I'm like, that was a hard pass. Was that not a hard pass? And then like so even in those moments, basically, and I'm here reflecting on it, it's like I'm kind of opening up like the demons and stuff. It's like that's a moment of pride. It's a moment of pride. Honestly, it's a moment where I'm not realizing that there was a way I could have done better in that. And obviously I made a few other more obvious mistakes in the training session. But that's kind of how I'm doing it. I'm going about it. I'm not in the right mindset right now, and I got to do better. So the way I usually throughout my life have consistently dealt with these problems, and what I'm going to be doing going forward, is being in bed early and waking up early, having that discipline. This morning I woke up, it was close to 9 o'clock because training's at 11. So you don't need to wake up that early. But I think the discipline that I would have from waking up early, from doing my reading, getting that all knocked out early in the morning, and doing mobility work and stretching and being ready to go mentally early in the morning instead of, petering off and tapering off and waiting till the end of the day to do all these extra things. Probably better for me to do it in the morning. And if I can be more disciplined in that way, I can mentally prep myself in the best way. So we're going to see what happens. You're going to see this in real time. I'm going to be experimenting right now in real time. There's a struggle, there's a problem, there's a thing that I have to improve in mentally. The way I've solved that problem in the past is the way I'm going to solve it now, by adjusting my sleep schedule to being more disciplined, starting the morning right, starting the day right so that I get to the practice and I'm ready to go. Like, not mentally in the clouds, not even feeling a little bit of tiredness, ready to go, which hasn't necessarily been the case. And you'll see in the reflection that I do tomorrow, you will see if it was a success or not, if I actually had a better practice or not. And at the end of the day, you can only do so much. It has to be down to my reaction on the field, my confidence on the field. I know I'm a good player, but can I break those mental barriers? You're going to be seeing that in real time as well. So, call this a little experiment as to what I'm going to be doing, how I'm going to be going about it, so that I can truly bounce back. Because I don't have a lot of time. But I know that if I have a good day tomorrow, I'm setting myself up for a good chance next week. Like, if I have a good day tomorrow, that's a positive thing. But if I have a bad day tomorrow, I'm really, really playing catch up. I'm already playing catch up, but then it's even harder. It makes it even worse. So, I'm just gonna try and win. Win tomorrow. Have a good day tomorrow. Truly glorify God tomorrow. Focus on that one day and then see what happens after that. Instead of trying to overplan and overthink and overanalyze everything and test things, experiment in things, and try and find the solution to the problems, which are mostly mental right now. So that is the experiment, if you will, that I'm going to be doing starting tomorrow. And you'll see the results. I'll tell you how it went tomorrow, of course. And then one other thing I kind of want to touch upon before I wrap up this episode, obviously it's going to be a little shorter, was I was reading a book and they were talking about like some athletic inspirational stories. And I just look at them and they're always like, the story always starts with, oh, at 7 years old, this guy, they said he was born to be this way. Their parents were making them and shaping them to being the best in the world, and they believed in them, and they had the talent from a young age. They had this God-given talent that they were born for this, and they were made for this sport, and then they had some sort of a struggle along the way and something completely unrelated to their pursuit of like greatness in their sport, whether it be like Michael Phelps or if it be Messi or even Marcus Rashford. I'm trying to think what else was talked about, like Serena Williams in tennis. Like basically it was like talent was all there from a young age, and like I don't know, like Michael Phelps was physically built to be a swimmer, right? And it's like that doesn't resonate with me. Am I the only one where those stories don't really resonate with me? Like, they don't really inspire me? Because I never had talent. I was never plucked from 7 years old, thrown into a professional academy. Everyone said that I'd be the greatest and I had this God-given gift. No, I never had that. I always sucked as a kid. I never had the opportunity to develop at a higher level from a young age because I never had that initial talent. And the talent that I have now has been built up slowly and surely through the grit and grind and determination over time. So now I'm 20, and a lot of people, talent needs the discipline, but I'm not inspired by that story of the person who had talent, had some sort of a setback completely unrelated, and then was able to, with perseverance, make that talent come to fruition. That's a cool story. I'm not demeaning the story. I'm just saying it doesn't resonate with my type of a profile, my type of a journey. So the biggest thing I think is I have to create my own story, and whatever that may mean. It mean football, actually making it, or it just means some other form of success in whatever other aspect. That is what I have to focus on instead of, trying to find motivation from like the weirdest of sources. Stay God centered and God focused and continue to abide by the principles that he teaches, but also try and write my own story. Try and write my own script. Try and be the guy that is the inspiration to other people like me. And I'm sure there are many other people in a similar position to me where we're, they're not they're not they're not even close to fulfilling their dream on the talent level or even just on an opportunity level. They're not even close. So it's up to me to kind of be that inspiration and to be that story, just not just for myself, but for everyone else. Regardless of however my life goes and whatever God's plan is for me, that's all I can focus on. Instead of trying to get motivation from this book, that's what I've learned. And I think I just wanted to share that with you. That yeah, your story's not going to be exactly the same. Vast majority of you watching this video probably weren't born with that natural God-given talent. You probably had to work to get where you are, or you probably still have a lot more work to do to get to the point that you want to be at. So those stories, like, forget about those stories. Forget about the guy who was naturally born and built for it but had some sort of other setback. No. You should look for the stories. I'm sure they're out there. They're just not as flashy and popular and brilliant as the biggest guys and biggest successes. Like maybe he was a mid-table, bang average Premier League player, but he had zero talent when he was a kid. I'm sure there's someone out there. He had zero talent, and from his teenage years, he just grinded and grinded and worked so hard. And through his sheer determination and mental will, was able to make it. He was never as flashy as everyone else, but he was still able to make it big. I'm sure there are a few stories like that. It's the unspectacular mid-table player, that guy who's just your rotation option. But he's living the dream that each and every one of us would tear a leg off to live. Maybe not a leg because we're playing football, but the point is, the stories are out there. It's up to you to write your own. Instead of looking at all these big stories to get inspiration, your story is going to be different. Most of the time, it's not going to be like that. It's not going to have the same blueprint as all the others. So write your own story. I'm going to be writing mine, and I invite you to join the journey as well. But I invite and encourage all of you to write your own stories for whatever big thing you want to achieve in your life. See if you can actually go and get it. See if you can actually go and achieve it and defy all those odds. That's why I'm a big dream chaser, because if you truly go in 100%, absolutely anything's possible. So to wrap up, yeah, even on a tough day, I still have this, these kinds of ideas and these realizations, these moments that kind of are shaping me and keeping me moving basically in that direction. So my goal, just win tomorrow. Do well tomorrow and then see what happens after that. If I do well in tomorrow's training session, I'm setting a good foundation for the future. If I don't, then other people, the coaches, they're gonna start looking at me, being like, "All right, this guy, is he really actually good enough?" Right? I know what my job is, and I encourage all of you to go and do what your jobs are as well. So, so all I say now is thank you for watching. Continue to glorify God in all that you do. And I'll see you tomorrow for the next reflection and the next episode of this professional football trial series.